let's move on to our section of the show called the Die Hard Oscars, where we give out.
You guys put your tuxes? Did you bring? No, you got your Cows in the Field T-shirts.
You've got your Benetton
we got the shirts.
sweaters.
We need shirts.
Put your Benetton sweaters on.
Yeah, we got my Benetton.
Benetton.
Button up. I'm wearing a button up. Actually, let me button the top. I don't want to get anyone too excited.
All the way.
You know,
goes all the way.
Very. Yeah, let me just. This is great video content. I love that we did this. My buttons.
Our first award is the John McClane Yippee Award for Best Line. And I didn't have too many. One that I think, speaks to some of the things we talked about earlier is Earl saying, "You got to be the dumbest motherfucker yet. You think we just picked you out of the clear blue, shiny new car, Massachusetts plates. It'll be a week before anyone even misses you. Should have got that bumper sticker that goes with that car. Rich assholes looking for trouble." Kind of encapsulates what we were talking about, I think, quite
They're not
well.
even rich.
You know,
Sorry,
they're not rich.
I know, but they have
comparatively, or they're perceived
they
as.
have a car.
It's the perception of that's really fascinating. Everyone's
they're
wrong
actually in
this
debt and in financial trouble, right? It's just they have the veneer of it. What's that? You want me to stop? You really want me to stop? Because I'll bet this baby stops on a fucking dime. That scene with the seatbelt was like,
Watch that twice.
That was so good. But the line that I remember from this movie, from 20 odd years ago, was, "Don't mister me, you son of a bitch." You remember when he says that? Like,
who says that?
Because when he turns up at JT Walsh's house and he's basically got him banged to rights, and JT Walsh is like, "Mister, I don't know who," he's still trying to convey that, like, I don't, in front of his wife and kid, I think, at that point. And he says, "Don't mister me, you son of a bitch." I remembered that line. So those were the three that I picked. I don't know if you have a choice or an additional nominee of a line that
I have one more to add to the nominee, which is Billy. He says, "Well, now you're the dummy. Well, now don't you get it? The police are the ones in on it." I like that line. I think it's so like it's one of those things where they're like, "Oh fuck."
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Shades of Deliverance and Billy sort of pretending to be like, I don't know what the term, like kind of like learning disabled or something would be the term that it would be used.
Yeah, I think he's just maybe simple.
Well, it's playing with the stereotype of uneducated rural poor, right?
Totally.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And subverting it in an interesting way.
I liked the bartender didn't see her. Jeff, you didn't see her or she didn't come in?
Right.
Like I told you last time, maybe she was in, maybe she wasn't. All I'm saying is I didn't see her.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's a good. That might be it. That
so
or the
frustrating.
The stop line. Yeah. Oh man.
And if anybody's just had like a bad customer service experience where you're like, please care, and they're like, we don't care. But also, it's so sinister.
Diners in the middle of the country are a little scary. I'm going to be honest. Again, it's
another
all
trope of this genre.
They probably shot that like in Burbank, though. To be real, like they probably shot it like down the street. That's the hilarious part.
I will say that the people in that diner suck. They're horrible. They're all horrible people,
Yeah.
And some of them may come up in a second. The Hans Gruber Exceptional Thief Award for stealing the film. Now, this was a little bit tricky, but I basically said if Kurt Russell's the star, anyone else can be nominated, including.
Well, I think we know who wins then.
Yes, probably. All right, so we've got Kathleen Quinlan as Amy, Rex Linn, Die Hard on a Blank returning all-star as Sheriff Boyd, and JT Walsh as Warren Red Barr, who would, of course, be my choice, as great as the other two are.
Yeah, JT for sure. But I also, I actually do think the guy who plays the bartender is really good.
Well, he's going to come up in a second.
That guy is, That was a very every scene that guy's in, I think, is incredible. He also just feels like they just went to some place in whatever Hatchet or wherever they are. What is the name of Bailey's? What's this bar? Or
Bell's
Diner.
Yeah. Who's Belle? Not him.
She's also a missing person. Dark.
Wow.
Just to provide the contrast, I'm going to go with Rex Linn, just because I love Rex Linn and he's such a sturdy presence in these movies. And I think he's actually low-key incredible in Cliffhanger because you don't know what to think of the guy the entire time. It's just a really good performance.
Yeah, he gets to flex his acting chops a bit more than usual than just playing a sort of hard ass in that.
Yeah.
He is great in it, but for me, I'm going to give it to JT. The Dick Thornberg Award for Dick of the Movie.
Kurt Russell.
Quite a lot of nominees. Potentially turn this thing on its head. MC
be honest.
Gainey as Earl, not the nicest man. Jack Noseworthy as Billy. The aforementioned obtuse bartender, who's played by Jack McGee, who ends up pulling a gun on Kurt Russell. I think went a little far there, where he's like, I want to look at the order slips. He's like, pulls a gun on him.
But that's the
You know?
East Coast fear of the middle of America. They all have guns.
And the guy at the bar who tells Kurt Russell to look in the ladies' room where the
That was a dick
patron
move.
is throwing
that was
up,
so
right?
rude.
Yeah, that guy was me.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
Dick of the movie?
I just want to give like Billy something.
You're giving it to Billy?
Yeah. For the sort of silly transformation, and then he pulls off his baseball hat and you're like, that man has so much hair. That hair was underneath that baseball hat the whole time.
It's a good choice.
I also by the way, that actor, Jack Noseworthy, born and raised in Boston and went to has a BFA, in
It's always
conservancy. So he is kind of like you know what I mean? And his sort of he's doing a little bit too much in his first iteration of the role, and then he pulls off the hat. He feels a little bit theatery in a fun way.
Yeah, I did like him.
All right. Our final category. I don't know if you're ready for this, Liam.
I'm sorry. I just started reading Jack Noseworthy's Wikipedia entry, and I'm very fascinated. So come back to me in 2 minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
Pause on that, because some of that might come up in the trivia section. But our last Oscar is the best death. I don't know. Do you want to try and do Marco as JT Walsh?
Terrible! Next time you have a chance to kill someone, don't hesitate. That was my my JT Walsh at the end there. Just a pivot.
Underplay. Yeah.
God, I'm so obnoxious.
Just imagine him saying that JT Walsh would just be like, how would you?
Yeah, it'd be incredible. Don't even try it.
I want to do it.
It would be amazing.
I want to channel JT so we have our cosmic connection could be completed. We've got an injured Rex Linn shooting MC Gainey from behind. That was cool. That bit, that was a great sequence of surprise and suspense where the sheriff is shot and then he gets Earl.
We're gonna have an MC Gainey month because he's on the next movie. In the next movie we're talking about too, Con Air, the greatest movie of the 1990s.
I'll scrap that question off the trivia quiz.
Luckily,
I have a backup. So we've got that. We've got Kurt Russell ramming Jack Noseworthy's red Firebird until it flips over and explodes. Literally, get the Firebird, yeah.
Wait,
and
what?
JT Walsh's truck falling on top of him, as if he didn't have it wasn't bad enough that he fell from that bridge. He had to have the 18-wheeler land on him.
That's horror movie rules.
Yeah,
you got to make sure they are dead,
he's still moving.
dead.
They look
he's
down,
still
they
moving.
see him still moving, and they look at each other, and then hard cut, she's like...
She pulls it, because she's not Laurie Strode in first Halloween. She's like, this is not... Knitting needle's not going to do it. We need to smush
She's seen
this
enough
guy.
movies to know.
Yeah. She's
And
a badass final girl.
That has to be the winner, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
great
pretty
death.
Pretty great death.
Pretty great.
That does it for the Oscars.